Hello, welcome to today's class. In today's video, we're going to be taking a very interesting topic in English language, which is called Concord in English language. What is Concord? What are the types of Concords? With credible examples, day-to-day examples. All of these and more we're going to cover in this very short and yet exciting, interesting and educative video. So make sure you sit down with me, and if you have questions, please use the comment section to ask them. My name is David and this is AllCBTs. I'll be right back. You're welcome back. Let's begin from the beginning. What is Concord? So Concord in English language is a grammatical relationship in which the verb changes according to the subject. So in every English statement, we would always have subject and then we would have verb, right? So when the verb changes, the subject changes, or I should say, when the subject changes, the verb has to change. For example, we have she writes well. So she is the subject. Subject means the person in consideration in that expression. She is the subject, and then write is the what? Is the verb, right? Why this is the action that was done. So what will this be? This is the adjective. Another example, you have they write well. So, but in this case, you can see that our write is missing the s. Alright, so we don't have s in the plural. Why? Because they is more than one person. So for singular, we have the s for right, but for plural, we have it as just right. Right, so for example, she writes well. So she is in the singular. She means one person, and writes is the singular. Now you say, writes is the singular. I thought wherever there is an s, it shows plural, not in this case, right? Writes is used for singular. Why write? We use write without the s when we are referring to verb plural subjects, as in this case. So she writes well. Okay, well is the adjective that qualifies how good she writes. And then you have they write well. So they, plural subjects. And then you have writes. This is also in the plural. See, this is an interesting one. So write is in the plural, and then you have your well. So when it is a singular, when the subject is a singular, you have your singular verb. When it's in the plural, you have a plural verb. So Concord just basically makes sure that there is a proper agreement between the subject and the verb, okay, in any statement or in any expression. Let's see more now. Yeah, the subject changes to agree with the verb changes to agree with the subject, as I've explained in detail. Then we have some types of Concord, 4 types actually. You have the grammatical Concord, you're going to see them shortly, the Notional Concord, the proximity Concord. What proximity just means is close. The subject agreement switches based on how close they are, and you have agreements in person and number. You will understand as we go further. So we're starting with the first one, the grammatical Concord. So the verb agrees with the subject as it appears in form. For example, the boy plays football. Now you've seen this earlier, right? In the first example I gave to you. So plays here is what? It's in the singular. Plays is in the singular, while the subject of the boy is as well in the singular. So my friend is coming. My friend, one person, okay, singular. Is for one person, singular. So the boy, singular, subject, singular, verb, plays, singular. Now this is the subject and this is the verb. My friend, or maybe friend, okay, not even mine is not there. Friend, singular, is, singular verb as well. So now let's see some plural verb. The boys, boys, group of boys, play. See, so it has switched now. Switched from singular to plural. Right. It's just like when
Get the cheapest science materials from allschoollabs.com.
you have has and when you have. Some people still use has for plural. See, so these are certain rules of English language that you must understand. They are rules, okay? So you don't need to go into the explanation of why they are there. You just need to understand and accept them as rules. So now has is for what? Singular, and have is for plural. So you're talking about one person has, you're talking about two or more persons, then you use have. So these are English rules. When you understand these English rules, you are fixed for life. I mean, you just keep navigating English without having troubles or problems. So the boys, plural, play. So play is plural verb for boys in an expression, in statement. The friends are coming today. Friends, plural, are. Okay, plural. You won't say my friends is coming today because is what? Singular. Is for singular when it's one. So my friend is coming today has switched. When friends become plural, my friends become this. The verb becomes her. Okay, my friends are coming today. Right. Now next, rules of Concord. Let me see if we need to make something. This one. Alright, so good. Now rules of Concord. Now these are the rules behind all these things, those explanations we just did, and some other we will be doing. Third person singular rule. Now, third person singular rule. What is a third person, first of all? Now, when you have, when you say I said, or when you're talking about I, that's the first person. When you are talking about he or she, that's the second person. And when you're talking about they, or referring to something that happened, somebody said something and then you are reporting that thing, that's the third person. So a verb in the present tense, take S, like we've seen, ES with a third person singular subject. Now, he works hard. Singular verbs will always take S. Never forget it. It's not like what you do in your tenses, right? So singular verb always take Alright, so rule 4. Rule A, third person singular rule. A verb in the present tense take S, okay, or ES with the third person singular subject. When the subject is about a third person, third person singular, that means one person in the third tense, your verb must have S or ES. For example, this is a third person expression. He works hard. You're talking about the third. You are stating in the third person, right? So he is definitely one person. So that's what makes it third person singular, one person. He walks. Now this is the rule. The verb takes S or ES. So he walks. Okay. So walks. You see, it takes the S. He works hard. Now you have she teaches. You have she now. She. Then you have teaches. Because you cannot say teaches. Teach is not a plural. Teach does not make sense. So she teaches English. So you see that the verb is intact. Singular verb, singular subject. It rains heavily. It rains heavily. You can also say there, rains. Okay. Now, moving forward. Compound subject, another rule. Rule 2. Compound subject bound by and. Two or more subjects joined by and. This is a plural verb. Why? Because once you have said, let's say, he, then you join it with and. Now, he was a singular, right? one person. She was a singular, one person. Now that they've come together, they've become two persons. So they need to take the plural verb, because they are now in the plural. The subject, singular subject, coming together now forms plural subjects. So the verb now has to be what? In the plural. Is that correct? Okay, look at this now. Ram and Cheyenne are brothers. See, if it were Ram, there's no even way to have made sense. So let's say Ram, singular, Cheyenne, singular. Okay, so singular come together to form what? Plural. Right? So what would the verb be? That's why you see that the verb is in the plural. Okay, the singular of this will be what? Is. The verb is what? Are is in the plural. And you can see here, brothers. You can see that brothers is also in the plural. Bread and butter are available. Now, bread and butter, plural. Two things. One thing, two things. Second thing. So bread and butter are. So this is in the plural. Singular, plural are available. Now you have an exception. Look at that. If, this is an important exception, take note. If the compound subject refers to one idea or more units, a singular verb is used. For example, look at this. Bread and butter is my breakfast. Bread and butter is my breakfast. Now, we're not saying it's a loaf of bread and a can of butter. No, we're saying bread with butter. Butter inside bread, it has become one unit. Do you understand now? Okay, I've taken out my 2 sliced bread, I've put butter in the middle. It becomes one unit. That's bread and butter, right? So it becomes a singular. So both of them were plural when they stand as different units. But now that I've meshed them together, they become a singular. So now the verb will be what? Singular. It's not going to be I anymore. See. So bread and butter is my breakfast. Okay, what are you eating? I'm eating bread and butter. Bread and butter is my breakfast. So if I'm also reporting this, or I'm telling somebody of something in the past, I would also say bread and butter was my breakfast. To be correct. And then slow and steady wins the race. Are you still there now? This is singular. Never, don't mind the S. Remember again what I told you. Okay, the S has to be there for the singular verb. Moving on. Subject joined by or no. Or no. That means one of both or none of both. That's what or no means. Now, when subjects are joined by or no, the verb agrees with the nearest subject. That's the rule. See, this part is very, very important. In any exam you are writing, IGCSE, WAEC, JAMB, WAEC, you will see these questions. All the past questions I've taken in recent time for the past 6 months, these questions are there. So you will see, you will come across these questions a lot. So I'm going to explain it very detailedly now, and I'll not do it again. In any other video I make, I'll be making reference to this video. So get it. And once you get it now, you're fixed for life. Look at the rule again. This is the rule. It's a rule. It's a law in English. You cannot change it. So when subjects are joined by or not, remember what I explained as or not. You can rewind the video to understand. The verb agrees with the nearest subject. Example, either the teacher or the students are responsible. Good. Now, either means one of them. Them is for plural. One of two. That's what either means. One of two. Now you have teacher. Teacher is what? Singular. One person is teacher. You have students. Student means what? A group of learners. More than one. That's 2, 3, 4 students. So that's plural. Right? So this is what? Plural. This is singular. This is plural. Then you have the verb here. This is the verb. The verb is what? Ha. Ha is the plural for what? Is. Okay? Ha means more than one. So the verb is also in the plural. Now let's go to the rule. When the subject are joined by or, this is our or here, or no, the verb agree. The verb agrees with the nearest subject. So when there is or no in the statement, the verb must agree with the nearest. What's the nearest there? Students. And students is what? Plural. So if this is plural, this must be, the verb must be what? Plural. That's what it means. So long there is a or there or a not there. Now you have neither in this case, which is not one. Okay? Neither. The law also applies. Neither the students now.
Run quick tests and analysis. Visit analysis.africa.
Students, as we have here, plural. Nor the teacher, as we have here, singular. The verb is what? Here was plural. This is what? Singular. So, because the teacher is in the singular, teacher is one. The verb is what? The singular. So, the verb will always agree to the nearer subject to it, or nearest, in case of if they are more than two. Are you getting that? So we have this is the subject, this is the subject, but which one is nearer to the verb? This one. So it will always agree with this. If this is singular, this will be singular. If this is plural, this will be plural. Another word for this is called proximity concord. Are you still there? Now we have notional concord. Notional concord depends on the meaning or the notion. What is that is notion? Notion means meaning. Notional or national, depending on how you want to call it. So for example, you have collective noun. Collective noun may take singular or plural form depending on the meaning. Collective nouns. What are collective nouns? They are one-worded noun that we use for a group of things. For example, committee does not have plural form. You don't say committees. Welcome back. So we had a bit of power fluctuation. I think I was here. So now, committee does not have a plural form. Okay, committee means a group of people. So the committee has taken a decision as one unit. So let me go back to collective nouns. So collective nouns may take singular and plural verbs depending on the meaning. So the committee has reached a decision. You might have seen a movie where they say the jurors have reached a decision. Okay, so the jurors has reached, no, it won't work like that, it has to be have. But this one, committee, the committee has taken a decision as one unit. Or the committee has reached a decision because the committee is one unit. It's a group. Now you have another one. The committee have different opinion because individuals, the committee has now become individuals. It's now being used in the terms of individuals, no longer as a collective unit. So the committee have different opinion or opinions. Do you understand that? They are now representing as individuals, no longer as one unit. Now next, uncountable nouns. Now remember we are still on rules. These are rules. Uncountable nouns always take singular verbs. Things you cannot count. For example, information. Information is an uncountable noun. You don't say informations. You don't say datas. You don't say datas. You don't say informations. Okay? Because you cannot count those things. So information is an uncountable noun. So for information we use is. Uncountable noun will always take singular. Furniture. You don't say furnitures. Can you bring the furnitures inside? No, furniture is one. You don't say equipments. You say equipment. So furniture was damaged. So that's it. So these are uncountable nouns. Then you have advice. You don't say advices. No, advice. Advice helps us. Alright, now we move on. Plural noun with singular meaning. So noun looks plural but are singular in meaning. It's true. For example, mathematics. It looks plural but actually it's singular in meaning. So mathematics is difficult. No, mathematics are difficult. Mathematics is difficult. Let's see more. News. It looks plural but you can't say new. I'm watching the new. It's news. News, it's singular. Then economics, singular. Now, singular noun with plural meaning. Some nouns are singular in form but plural in meaning. Yes. Okay. They're like group words. So you have like the police. The police is a unit. It's a group of executives, law enforcing executives. So the police are investigating the case. The cattle are grazing. Those are the cattle because there are different cows. There are a lot of cows there. No, a lot of cows make up a cattle or the cattle. So the cattle are. So for these, you use are. These are rules. Next, proximity concord. Okay, we've seen this before. Either the student or the teacher is absent. There are many problems in this plan. Okay, there is a problem with this answers. Okay, so look at the rule now, like we saw earlier. Either. The rule is commonly used with either or, as we saw earlier. Neither or no, and then it's also used with there be. There be. Alright, are you still there? Okay, let me explain this. There are many problems in this plan. You can see problems are. Problem is. You can see that. Okay? And there's also, look at this is a subject here as well. Answers is a subject here, but we are going with the nearer subject, which is problem. It's nearer to the is than this one. Do you get it now? Okay, and then the last one, agreement in person and number. Person. So I am first person, you are second person, he or she third person. I explained this earlier. So for singular subjects, use your singular verbs. Plural subjects, use your plural verbs. I'm just doing a recap as we get ready to end this class. Example, I am ready. I am ready. They are ready. Plural, plural. I am. Then you have she was. She, third person, she was. Singular. She was late. Alright, then with that, we come to the end of the class. I have these few take-homes for you. Make sure you do it and submit it in the comment section. Choose the correct verb. Each of the players, which will it be, dash rewarded. A number of students, which of them. The committee at the dash decided the matter, which of them. And correct the forms. So something is wrong in these forms. You need to correct them. The police is investigating the case. What is wrong and what do you need to change there? Bread and butter are my breakfast. Everyone have completed the task. Right, so there we have it for a wrap on the subject Concord in English language. I hope you enjoyed yourself. If you did, let me know in the comment section by saying I enjoyed this class. Thank you for watching and make sure you check other videos we've made on use of English that will help you to upskill and pass your exams beautifully. I'll see you in another one. Bye. Hi, I'm sure you enjoyed the video you just watched. To see more content as that, prepare you for your upcoming exam, make sure to smash the subscribe button and turn on notification. Also, remember that you can use the comment section to send us your questions or your inquiries, and we are happy to take them. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.